Jack. You look excited today. What's up?
Hi, Mira. I am excited. I just had my first full conversation in English with someone from Canada, and it went so well.
That's amazing. I remember when you were scared to speak English. What changed?
You know what? I stopped being afraid of making mistakes. That was the biggest change for me.
That's so important. I think fear is the #1 problem for English learners. They know grammar, they know words, but they're too scared to speak.
Exactly. I used to think, oh no, what if I say something wrong? People will laugh at me. But then I realized something.
What did you realize?
That native speakers make mistakes too. And nobody really cares about small errors. People just want to communicate and understand each other.
That's such a good point. Communication is more important than perfection. So tell me, what helped you become more fluent?
Well, I started doing several things. First, I stopped translating everything in my head.
Oh, that's a big one. What do you mean exactly?
Before, I would think in my native language, then translate to English. It made me so slow. Now, I try to think directly in English.
How did you practice that?
I started with simple things. Like when I'm making breakfast, I think I'm putting butter on my toast, or the coffee smells good. Just simple sentences about what I'm doing.
That's brilliant. You're creating an English-speaking environment in your own mind.
Yes, and you know what else really helped? Talking to myself.
Really? You talk to yourself in English?
All the time. When I'm alone at home, I describe what I'm doing, or I have imaginary conversations. Sometimes I pretend I'm ordering food at a restaurant or asking for directions.
That's actually really smart. You're practicing without the pressure of a real conversation.
Exactly. And nobody can judge you when you're alone. You can make all the mistakes you want and try again.
I love it. What else did you do?
I started watching English TV shows and movies without subtitles in my language.
Oh, that's tough at first, right?
Super tough. At the beginning, I only understood maybe 30% of what they were saying, but I kept watching the same episodes again and again.
Did you use English subtitles?
Yes, that was really helpful. I could read what they were saying while listening. It helped me connect the sounds to the words.
And what kinds of shows did you watch?
I started with sitcoms like Friends or How I Met Your Mother. They use everyday English, and the episodes are only 20 minutes long.
That's perfect for learning. The conversations are natural and funny.
Right. And because they're comedies, I wanted to understand the jokes. That motivated me to keep watching and learning.
Motivation is so important. If you're bored, you won't learn anything.
Absolutely. That's why I also started listening to podcasts about topics I love.
What kind of podcasts?
I really like technology and science, so I listen to podcasts about those subjects. When you're interested in the topic, you pay more attention.
And you learn vocabulary related to your interests. That's much more useful than memorizing random word lists.
So true. Speaking of vocabulary, I changed how I learn new words too.
How so?
I stopped writing down single words with translations. Now I write whole sentences or phrases.
Can you give me an example?
Sure. Instead of writing exhausted equals very tired, I write, after running the marathon, she felt completely exhausted.
Oh, I see. You're learning the word in context. That helps you remember how to actually use it.
Exactly. And I try to use new words in conversations the same day I learn them. If I don't use them immediately, I forget them.
Use it or lose it.
That's a good way to put it. Oh, and another thing that really helped was finding a language exchange partner.
Tell me more about that.
I found someone online who wants to learn my native language, and they're a native English speaker. So we help each other.
That sounds perfect. How often do you talk?
We video chat twice a week. Half the time we speak English, and half the time we speak my language. It's been incredible for my fluency.
I bet. Real conversations are the best practice. You're using the language to actually communicate, not just to practice.
Yes, and my partner corrects me when I make mistakes, but in a nice way. They explain why something is wrong and how to say it correctly.
Having someone give you feedback is so valuable. You learn from your mistakes.
Definitely. And here's something interesting. I make different mistakes now than I did before.
What do you mean?
Well, before, I made grammar mistakes because I didn't know the rules. Now, I make mistakes because I'm trying to express complex ideas and I don't know the exact words.
That's actually progress. It means your speaking level is improving.
That's what my language partner said. They said making sophisticated mistakes is better than making basic ones.
I like that. So, what about pronunciation? That's something many people struggle with.
Oh man, pronunciation was really hard for me at first. Some English sounds don't exist in my language.
How did you improve it?
I spent time really listening to how native speakers form sounds with their mouth. I would watch their lips and try to copy them.
Did you use any specific techniques?
Yeah, I recorded myself speaking and then compared it to native speakers. It was embarrassing at first, but really helpful.
What did you notice when you listened to your recordings?
I noticed I was speaking too fast and not pronouncing the endings of words clearly. Like asked, I was saying it like ask.
That's a common mistake. English has a lot of consonant clusters that are tricky.
Tell me about it. But practicing tongue twisters really helped with that.
Tongue twisters? Like, she sells seashells by the seashore?
Exactly. They're fun and they help you practice specific sounds. Plus, they make you more aware of how you're moving your mouth.
That's creative. What else did you do for pronunciation?
I learned about word stress and sentence stress. That made a huge difference.
Oh, yes. English is a stress-timed language. The rhythm is really important.
Right. I learned that in every sentence, some words are stressed and some are not. The stressed words carry the important information.
Can you give an example?
Sure. If I say, I didn't take your book, the stress is on didn't, meaning someone else took it. But if I say, I didn't take your book, the stress is on your, meaning I took someone else's book.
Perfect example. The meaning changes based on where you put the stress.
It's fascinating how much stress affects communication. Native speakers do this naturally, but learners need to practice it consciously.
You've really thought about this deeply. What about reading? Did that help your speaking too?
Absolutely. I started reading English books, starting with easier ones.
What kind of books did you read?
I began with young adult novels because the language is simpler, but the stories are still interesting. Books like The Hunger Games or Harry Potter.
Those are great choices. They're engaging stories with accessible language.
And I learned so much vocabulary and different ways to express ideas. When you read, you see how sentences are structured naturally.
Did you read out loud?
Sometimes, reading out loud helps with pronunciation and fluency. You're combining reading skills with speaking skills.
That's a good strategy. What about writing? Did you practice that too?
Yes, I started keeping a daily journal in English.
What do you write about?
Just my day, my thoughts, my plans, simple stuff. The goal isn't to write perfectly, it's to express myself in English every day.
And that habit probably helps your speaking too, right?
Definitely. When you write, you think about how to structure your thoughts. That same skill helps when you're speaking.
It's all connected. Reading, writing, listening, speaking, they all support each other.
Exactly. Another thing I realized is that fluency isn't just about speaking fast.
What do you mean?
At first, I thought being fluent meant speaking as fast as native speakers, but that's not true.
You're right. Fluency is about expressing yourself clearly and naturally, not about speed.
Yes, it's better to speak at a moderate pace and be clear than to speak super fast and make lots of mistakes.
And native speakers actually appreciate when you speak clearly. It makes communication easier for everyone.
True. I also learned that it's okay to pause and think. Native speakers do it all the time.
Right. They say things like, well, let me think, or, these are called fillers.
I started using some of these fillers, and it made my speech sound more natural. Instead of just stopping in silence, I say, or let me see.
That's a great observation. Using fillers gives you time to think without awkward silence.
And it shows you're thinking about what to say next, which is completely normal in any conversation.
What about dealing with situations where you don't know a word?
Oh, that happens all the time, but I've learned strategies for that too.
Like what?
Well, I use simpler words to describe what I mean. For example, if I don't know the word screwdriver, I can say, the tool you use to turn screws.
Circumlocution. That's a really useful skill.
Is that what it's called? I just thought of it as explaining around the word.
That's exactly what it means. And it's perfectly fine to do that. Even native speakers do it when they forget a word.
That makes me feel better. I used to feel so embarrassed when I couldn't remember a word.
No need to be embarrassed. It happens to everyone. The important thing is that you keep communicating.
Another thing I do is ask questions when I don't understand something.
That's so important. Many learners are too shy to ask for clarification.
I know, but I realized that saying, sorry, I didn't catch that, or could you repeat that please, is totally normal.
Absolutely. It's better to ask than to pretend you understood.
And people are usually happy to repeat or rephrase. Most native speakers are very patient with learners.
Especially if you're making an effort. They appreciate that you're trying to communicate in their language.
That's true. I've had so many positive experiences. People encourage me and help me when I struggle.
That's wonderful. Having positive experiences motivates you to keep practicing.
Exactly. And the more I practice, the more confident I become. It's a positive cycle.
Confidence is really key to fluency. If you're confident, you speak more. And if you speak more, you improve faster.
Yes, I think confidence might be even more important than perfect grammar.
I agree. Someone with okay grammar but lots of confidence can communicate better than someone with perfect grammar who's too scared to speak.
So true. Oh, I also wanted to mention something about accents.
What about them?
I used to worry so much about having an accent. I wanted to sound like a native speaker.
And now?
Now I realize that having an accent is completely fine. There are so many different accents in English.
Right. British, American, Australian, Indian, Nigerian, all different, all valid.
Exactly. As long as people can understand me clearly, my accent doesn't matter.
That's a healthy attitude. Accents add diversity and personality to language.
And trying to eliminate your accent completely is actually really difficult and unnecessary.
The goal should be clarity, not perfection. Being understood is what matters.
Absolutely. Oh, here's another tip that helped me. I stopped worrying about sounding smart.
What do you mean?
In my native language, I use sophisticated vocabulary and complex sentences. In English, I just focus on communicating clearly, even if it sounds simpler.
That's really wise. It's better to say something simple correctly than to attempt something complex and mess it up.
Exactly. As my English improves, I naturally start using more advanced language, but I don't force it.
Natural progression is the best way to learn. You can't skip stages.
Right. You have to walk before you can run. Speaking of which, I also make sure to celebrate small victories.
Like what?
Like the first time I made a joke in English and people laughed, or when I watched a movie and understood everything without subtitles.
Those are great milestones. It's important to recognize your progress.
Yes, it keeps you motivated during the times when you feel like you're not improving.
Every learner has plateaus where progress seems slow, but if you keep practicing, you'll break through.
That's been my experience. Sometimes I felt stuck, but I kept going, and suddenly I'd notice I'd improved.
Language learning isn't linear. Sometimes you improve quickly, sometimes slowly, but you're always moving forward if you keep practicing.
Great way to put it. So, what advice would you give to someone who wants to start speaking English more fluently?
Let me think. First, I'd say start speaking from day one. Don't wait until you know enough.
Yes, you'll never feel like you know enough if you don't start practicing.
Second, make it fun. Learn through things you enjoy movies, music, games, books about topics you love.
Definitely. If it's boring, you won't stick with it.
Third, practice every single day, even if it's just for 10 minutes. Consistency is more important than long study sessions.
I agree. I practice a little bit every day, and it adds up quickly.
Fourth, don't be afraid of mistakes. They're proof that you're trying and learning.
That's a great mindset. Mistakes are teachers, not enemies.
And finally, be patient with yourself. Fluency takes time. You won't become fluent in a month or even 6 months.
It's a journey, not a destination.
Exactly. And the journey can be really enjoyable if you approach it with the right attitude.
You know what's funny? I'm actually more confident speaking English now than I was a year ago, even though I still make mistakes.
That's because you've learned that communication is about connection, not perfection.
Yes, and every conversation is an opportunity to practice and improve.
That's the spirit. With that attitude, you'll keep getting better and better.
Thanks, Mira. This conversation has been great. It's made me think about how far I've come.
You should be proud of yourself. Learning a language takes dedication and courage.
It does, but it's so worth it. Being able to communicate with people from all over the world is amazing.
Absolutely. And remember, every fluent English speaker was once a beginner too.
That's a comforting thought. If they can do it, so can I. And so can anyone else who's willing to practice.
Well said, Jack. Keep up the great work.
Thanks. You too, Mira. Let's meet up again soon for another English chat.
Definitely. Practice makes perfect. Or at least, practice makes progress.
I like that better. See you soon.
See you. Keep speaking, keep learning, and keep having fun.